Okay. And they shall not, look at this, they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother. On the Old Testament, they would teach every man his neighbor the laws of God, and teach every man his brother the laws of God. God said in this new covenant, they won't do that. They shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. Why not? For all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Why? Because I got a covenant in heaven. And the whole world's going to know me anyhow. Now, depending on you. Now, depending on you spreading the word. Make my name known. And tell everybody about my covenant, my laws, and how to keep my laws, become my people. He said, they're going to be known. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. Does the unrighteousness stop? We are as unrighteous as Israel was. What's the difference? I didn't give them mercy. With you, I'm going to get merciful to your unrighteousness. That's the new agreement. Every time you're unrighteous, mercy comes out. That's why I said, you can come boldly to a throne of grace, you might obtain grace and find mercy because it's part of the covenant. I have made the covenant to be merciful to your sin. I'll be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities. What are you going to do about that, God? I ain't going to remember. What do you mean, God? I'm going to act as if your sins and your unrighteousness didn't happen.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's the new covenant. Why do I act that way? Because you know what they are anyhow. You don't know you violated because I written my laws in your mind and in your heart, and you can't read them. So how do you know you violated them? So therefore, when you do violate them, I can't charge you with the violation. I just don't remember it. That's how?
Yes.
When you're righteous, what we'll do? Just be merciful. You wonder why you got along so many times in this world? Messing up like you have? Being righteous like you have? Let me tell you why. Because he's been merciful to you.
Thank you.
He should have cut us off a long time ago.
That's right. That's right.
With good reason.
Yeah.
Why didn't he? Because you're in a new covenant. You're in the law, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
But in a new covenant, because you know what the covenant is, you know the terms of the covenant, I can give you a synopsis of what the new covenant is. The new covenant says these people cannot mess up. Put it in the capsule form. The new covenant says, no matter what they do, I'm going to be their God, they'll be my people. How many times you violate has nothing to do with it. There's no count, he's not keeping track anymore. With them he says, you have violated my covenant these 10 times. With us, he's now marking who stand in charge to God's elect. Who shall sit in heaven and do this on you? Not him, because he doesn't charge you anymore. He forgot what you did yesterday. He forgot the sin you committed this morning. He saw it and forgot it. Only God can do that. We don't have that capacity. There's some things in my life I like to forget. Some things I try to forget. But God has the ability to look right at your sin and then forget it. Is that what he said here? Am I reading it wrong? For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness and their sins and their iniquities, which are still going on, will I remember no more. That's the new deal. It's about time so you guys start enjoying your salvation. A little bit. A little bit. I can't understand why you're not going to get pumped up by this message.
Yeah.
This is the most glorious message God has given us in a long time. He's telling you that I have set you free. I'm going to save you anyhow. You're worried about getting together in the next 5 or 6 months. God said, I already got it together. He said, I simply took this one here, the law of orders and handwriting against us, and went to Calvary and down to my cross. They're dead. And the new one I wrote, I didn't even tell you what I wrote. So you can't violate it. Can't keep it either.
Right.
But the fact you can't keep it, he already wrote that to a part of the covenant. He said, if they don't keep it, I'll just be merciful.
Thank you.
If they sin and have iniquity, I just remember. What kind of God is that?
Wonderful.
He said, I'm going to save. That's why it says in chapter 7, he is able to save them to the uttermost who come to God by him. He can save from being the uttermost sinner and make it the uttermost saint who come to God by him because the whole thing depends on him. It's not your part of it. Yeah, God calls it a covenant. It's an agreement. What's an agreement? You can be unrighteous, and the agreement is, I have to be merciful. This preacher is sworn in by an oath, mind you. So whatever he says, becomes an oath. The one that put him in is God himself. So whatever as a high priest he brings for God as cases, God has to accept because God made him the high priest. You don't make somebody get somebody in office, a political office, and then not cover them when they mess up.
Right.
You know, you stand for that judge you appointed. You run interference for them. Right? That's how the world works. Right? The world looks out for its own. Well, so is God. So God appointed a high priest, and God had set whatever terms his high priest sets. That's what I mean, the high priest over my kids today. You're a king and a priest. I'm not even going to object to whatever you bring to me. You got a bunch of unrighteous people, the same congregation as Israel was. Man does not change, human nature doesn't change. We're the same people they were, except it's a different administration. It's a better priesthood, built upon better promises, establishing a better sanctuary, a priest in the heavens. Man. And then he said, a new covenant he hath made, the first old. Now that which decayeth and waxes old is ready to vanish away. He said the Old Testament is gone. The writers say, the commentators in this particular part of Hebrews, say this part was written when the tabernacle was still standing, meaning in a temple rather. It was written before AD 70. That's why it keeps making reference to a priesthood, murder priesthood. And now he says, and that he said the new covenant, he has made the first old. Right? We'll get to that. I thought I preached again today. But we'll get to that Wednesday night about what makes the old covenant ready to vanish and be done away with. But this is all written for AD 70, or to the tabernacle. And the vanishment of the old tabernacle was the destruction of the temple. God had the temple destroyed, making it official that the Old Testament law and that priesthood is gone with the temple.
Wow.
Now there's a new priest in the temple made, pitched by God. And not man, official in the heavens, and that's his only job eternally. So therefore, not 1 second of your life is he not on duty officiating.
Thank you.
Giving mercy